Sometimes authors use a device we call a flashback. A flashback is like a story within a story, and it helps the reader to know what happened in the past before the story started. So if we take another look at our story, Kamishibai Man, in the beginning, our Kamishibai Man was old, and he was reminiscing with his wife about how sad he was that he missed what he used to do when he was younger. Then, about halfway through the book, we have a flashback, and he starts thinking back. He's not an old man anymore. He starts thinking back to when he was younger and how his travels with the paper theater went. And he tells a little bit about the past. Then eventually it comes back to the present, and all of those little children are grown up, and he goes back to his wife in the end, and you realize that all along it was sort of like a memory within the story. Sometimes it will be like a dream. In another book we read, The Gold-Threaded Dress, Oi spent time thinking about her life back when they lived in Thailand and how it was different than it is now that they've moved to America. In the book These Hands, it's another book with an old man, the grandpa to this boy, and he is helping his little grandson learn to tie his shoes. But as he talks to him, he tells him about when he was younger. Notice how he's getting younger and what he used to do with his hands as a younger man. And so the story becomes him telling his grandson about the olden days, and that is another type of flashback. So when you are reading a story and it goes back in time, that is called a flashback. There are some characteristics to flashbacks that we want to keep track of when we're reading. So in your reader's notebook, in the mini lesson tab, let's write the characteristics of a flashback or a story within a story. So part of the story, usually the beginning and the ending, take place in present day. In These Hands, Joseph and his grandfather spend time together. In The Gold-Threaded Dress, Oi lives in America in the present time. And in The Kamishibai Man, the man is very old and lives with his wife. During the flashback time, Joseph's grandpa tells Joseph about the things he did with his hands when he was younger. Oi thinks about stories of life in Thailand before Oi's family came to America. And the man thinks about the days when he was younger and told stories and sold candy to young children. So when you recognize these flashbacks, you'll notice them in movies and TV shows too. They often are like a dream or a memory. When you're watching a movie, you'll get, the visuals of it, and the actors might be different because they have to be younger. In a book, the pictures sometimes change, and sometimes you can tell from the coloring of the illustrations that it's in the past. Other times it doesn't change, but the person becomes younger looking. So flashbacks are a good way for an author to tell about things that happened before the story started. And they usually give you lots of insight into the characters that you're reading about. All right, see you next time.